Good morning. We'll give it a few more minutes before we begin. While we are waiting for 7 o'clock, come find a comfortable seated position. Sitting elevated is optimal. We will need a block today. It's optional, but it will be helpful. And a belt. If you have those, that'll be helpful. It's not, you can do without it if necessary. All right. Let us begin with our centering practice this morning. So coming to sit cross-legged, but cultivating, actively engaging the outer edges of the feet into the earth. We're cultivating, narrowing the distance between the knees to whatever degree is available for the hips and the knees. So this is a work in progress. So we set the foundation, that we become more mindful of how we inhabit this body. We start to introduce more mindful practices. All right, let's turn our senses inwards. Feel free to be sitting onto a chair if that supports your body in the best way. This class is catered to all levels of yoga. As we close our eyes, we draw our senses inwards. And we again allow the tip of the tongue to rest behind the two front teeth as we draw the inner gaze inwards and upwards to the brow point. We allow the shoulders to softly descend away from the ears. We allow the tip of the tongue to rest behind the two front teeth. And as we shift that awareness of our weight so that we're anchoring into the back body, because our organs of perception are at the front of the body, there can be a natural tendency to list forwards. So be mindful to draw back. Feel the buttock bones descending into the earth and that you are anchoring into the back of the buttock bones. Be mindful that the spine is elevated and rising. Shoulder blades are descending down the back of the body as the collarbone is broad. And we drop into our breath and we come to stillness. We are cultivating stillness in our physical being, because we can be very good at busying ourselves as a distraction to being still. And I heard a beautiful quote this morning. We want all the answers, but we're not prepared to be still, to observe and to listen. As all the answers do reside within us. So it's the cultivation of this stillness that behooves us, especially at this time. This is where the true guidance system is, our inner GPS, our inner connection to the wisdom that is universally available to each of us. This knowing, this wisdom is our birthright. We just have been a little over invested in this magnificent brain, over invested in the external world. But it is this internal world that as we continually sit, continually come to hold space with, that we truly cultivate, expanding that richness that lies within. And we become more empowered, we become more liberated, mentally, physically, even emotionally. So this is a critical practice of being still, observing the breath, and following the breath. Imagine breathing as if in slow motion, expanding the length of the inhale and expanding the length of the exhale. Now in yoga, we are mindfully connected to the inhale and the exhale through the nose. This is what calms and steadies the central nervous system. This is what allows us to connect to our breath. This is what allows us to connect to our bodies and observe its soothing, calming effects. Let us hold the energy together. Even though you are receiving this through the monitor of a computer, through the screen of a computer, you can still connect energetically with the group, with me, because energetically, time and space is all intertwined. And when we begin to cultivate that connection to the energetic fields around us, it can support us in our practice. That's why being in nature is so healing and delicious. 2 more breaths in. And 2 more steady, cleansing breaths out. Taking the hands together at the heart. And as you exhale, come to bow your chin down to the heart. Honoring your body and inviting your magnificent mind to merge with the wisdom of your body and your soul. Opening the eyes back into the room. Look at the legs. Notice which leg is in front. We're going to do a stretch. We're going to open up through the heart, but I want you to be aware if the right or left leg is in front, because when we cross again, we're going to use the opposite leg. So make that connection so you're aware of which leg was in front. I've seated sideways. You can stay facing forwards. I just wanted to give you a side view. We're going to have the buttocks on the floor, feet on the floor, fingertips pointing towards the buttocks, elbows are slightly bent, and we're lifting up through the heart. We're finding that nice opening through the chest and heart. Now I recommend that you keep your eyes on the horizon line. Don't drop the head back, as that can be stressful to the neck, especially if you have neck history. So your shoulders are drawing away from the ears, creating space between your ears and your shoulders. And as you root the hands into the earth, your heart is rising. Now, if this right angle of the hands isn't available to you, take the blanket. Allow the heel of the hand to rest on the edge of the blanket, fingertips down to the earth, and that will alleviate the incline in the wrist. Okay, so that's a nice alternative. You can also roll the back of the mat, and that will create another ledge for you to rest the hand on. One more breath. Cleansing, inhale, and steady cleansing, exhale. Opening up through the chest and the heart as the buttocks root into the earth. Good. All right, and release. Come back to your blanket or wherever you were seated, however you were seated. And notice which leg automatically goes in front, which one do you remember was in front, and change the interlock. Go the other way. Actively engage the outer edges of the feet into the earth. And then let the hands rest onto the thighs. Good. We're going to do a breathing exercise. But again, I want us to be aware of the foundation. Engaging the outer edges of the feet, cultivating, drawing the knees closer in so that we're more aligned with the hips, as all of this is subtly working to open and stimulate the circulation, even as we're passively sitting. So all of these have layer upon themselves. So I invite you to practice with me to whatever capacity is available to you today. Raise your right hand. I won't be mirroring you here. Raise your right hand and come take your pointer finger and your middle finger into the palm of your hand. Now, your ring finger and your pinky remain raised. Your thumb remains out to the side. Good. Pointer finger and middle finger, bring it down to the palm of the hand. It's going to be a bit of a brain teaser. Keep the ring finger and the pinky raised. Now we'll come take the fingertips, thumb on right cartilage of the nose, pointer finger and ring finger on the left cartilage of the nose. Arm is into the center of the body. And we'll come to close the eyes. You may keep the eyes open and use it as an eye exercise as you gaze softly to the knuckles. Or you can close the eyes and bring the gaze inwards and upwards to the brow point. Now, when you're ready, come close your left nostril and exhale fully through your right. Inhale, right. Pause. Close right, exhale, left. This is alternate nostril breathing. Nadi Shodhana. Inhale, left. Pause. Exhale, right. Now this is one circuit. Inhale, right. Pause. Exhale, left. Inhale, left. Pause. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Pause. Exhale, left. Inhale, left. Pause. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Pause. Exhale, left. Inhale, left. Pause. Exhale right. You're going to take 2 more circuits on your own. Once you are complete, rest the hands onto the thighs and continue to take 5 breaths in and out. And just notice the quality of the breath. Notice the quality in the mind. When you just drop back into that inhale and exhale after doing your alternate nostril breathing. Now, the breath work is critical at this time. It's critical for us to strengthen the capacity of the lungs. And that holding of the breath is that gentle retention of the breath for us to cultivate containment within the breath. And as we create that containment, that holding, it allows for the oxygenated blood or the oxygen to permeate into the blood and oxygenate the blood. It allows for that containing. And we need to be able to breathe in, hold, and release. So you're going to, or we are going to cultivate this breath. We're going to focus on this breath for now. Allow it to become more fluid and seamless. And you'll notice some days are more fluid than others. But the more familiar your body becomes to this practice, the easier it will become. Your body's memory it will start to imprint into the body, and the body's like, oh, I know this, we're down, let's drop in, and the breath will expand, and the breath needs to find that expansion in the lungs. You have this virus going around that is harshly negatively affecting the lungs. So expanding upon our lung capacity, expanding upon that elasticity within the lungs is critical. This is what we can do to strengthen our system, strengthen our central nervous system, strengthen our immune response. Breath work is immensely powerful. So connecting more deeply to our breath is what is being asked of us at this time. So I invite you, if you do have reservations around the breath or hesitations, know that it is needed. It comes through every time in my meditations. Breath work, strengthen the lungs, allow them to become more resilient, more able to fend off. That's what begins to happen as we expand in that lung capacity. So if there is bacteria building in the lungs, our practice of our breath work is helping to flush out and stop that bacteria from taking form, even in the sense of a common cold. Let us come to lie onto the backs. We'll hug the knees into the chest and we'll gently rock from side to side. We're going to do a little more hip work first. So as you come to lie onto the back, we'll gently rock the knees from side to side. Let the spine release into the earth. Good. And we'll come release the left foot, rest it to the earth, and place your right ankle onto your left thigh. So my foot is outside of the thigh, on the outside of the thigh. The ankle is resting on the thigh. You're going to take your right hand and you're gently going to press it onto that right thigh, right hand onto right thigh. Now bring the hand closer to the hip, away from the knee, and allow for that opening. Take your breath and gently open up into the body. This may be enough. If you're experiencing a nice stretch in the hips, stay as you are. If you wish to take it one step further, you're going to raise that left knee off the floor and slide the hands behind the back of the knee. Flex your right foot and gently guide the knee towards the body. A gentle rock from side to side can lessen the tendency to make it a tug of war between your limbs. So if you naturally find yourself rocking from side to side, keep it to a minimal, let it be soothing, and don't allow it to be too rigorous. Keep it soft. Gently guiding the knee in towards the body as you flex the foot. And you may well notice a nice opening coming into that right hip. For some of you, being right here will give you that wonderful opening in the hip. Allow that to be so. Honor wherever you are in this process, as it's valid to your body and your history. 2 more cleansing breaths in and out. Keep the shoulders on the floor. Flexing the right foot, spreading the toes as you gently guide the left knee in towards the body. And then we'll come release the foot back down to the earth. Again, you can gently rock the knees from side to side. And then we'll go to the other side. We'll come take left ankle onto right thigh. Left hand comes onto the thigh and we gently press the leg away from the body. This may be enough of an opening. Remember to keep the hand away from the knee. The knee just has back and forth range of movement, whereas the hip has that whole round circular movement available to it. So we want the opening to come from the hip, and we don't want to place undue pressure onto that more vulnerable knee joint. That's why we're gently guiding the leg back from the hip, from the thigh. If you feel you can go a little deeper into the hip opening, again, you'll raise the foot and you'll slide the hands behind the back of the knee. And then we'll gently guide the right knee into towards the chest. We're flexing the left foot, lengthen out through the heel, retract the toes. Full cleansing breaths in and out. And stay connected to the breath. We want to remain in sync with that full cleansing inhale and the steady cleansing exhale. This way, we stay more connected to the body, and the intellect doesn't start to override our experience within the pose. Our judgments don't come in, our will force lessens, because the focus is more on the breath rather than the intention of the mind. I've got to do more, I want the leg closer in, or the stretch isn't deep enough. Like, okay, if the stretch isn't deep enough, deepen the breath. And you'll notice that that full, steady inhale and deepening connection to the exhale is what will deepen the breath and what will expand in the sensation in the body. So we come to connect more deeply on that subtle plane as to how we operate within the body. Good. Releasing as we come back. All right. This is where we'll take the belt. If you have the block, you're going to place the block in between the thighs. We're going to come to bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. We're going to take the belt and we're going to place the belt in front of the buttocks on the floor. We're going to take the hands and slide the hands under the belt. So the backs of the hands are pressing into the earth. And we're going to just roll that shoulder blade down the back of the body just to create a little more opening in the chest and heart. So here already we've started the beginning prep for the back bend. We've already begun to draw the back of the heart to the front of the heart. Now, you can't see your feet, so you want to feel it out. Your knees are stacked above the heels, and your heels are placed in front of your buttocks. As you press the backs of the hands into the earth, you draw the shoulder blades down the back of the body, and you allow the heart to rise. All right, root into the feet. Root into the arms, the back of the skull and the shoulders. Do not turn your head to look at the screen if you're raising your hips. Your eyes want to remain straight up to the ceiling to protect the neck. Inhale, rising up. If you wish to look at the screen, make sure you release the buttocks down to the floor again. And you come to rise. Your pubis bone is rising upwards to the ceiling. Your shoulder blades draw down the back of the body. Your buttock bones are lengthening towards the back of the knees. And you rise up from the foundation. 2 more breaths. Full inhale. Full steady exhale. Lift the toes. Feel the 4 points of the soles of the feet, rooting into the earth. Soften the toes and slowly exhale, vertebrae for vertebrae, gently back down to the earth. Did you notice when you lifted the toes? Did it engage the legs a little more? Did it up the ante? If you notice something, that's when you fully, evenly distribute the weight over the 4 points of the soles of the feet, then you're more actively engaging the quadriceps, the thighs. So engage rooting into the feet so that you can bring greater balance, strength, and stability into those powerful legs. Once again, rooting into the feet. Inhale, rise. Lift the buttock bones towards the back of the knees. Do not turn the head. Keep the eyes open or closed, but the face is facing upwards to the ceiling. We are often on the backs of the shoulder blades. Know that the evolution of the pose is that we begin to come onto the tops of the shoulders. That may take years and that might not be in this lifetime. So honor where you are, show up from the foundation up and connect to the breath. The breath is going to show you what is available, not the mind. The mind will show you its desires, what it wishes to see. But the breath and the deep, steady connection to the breath is going to allow you to see where the body is truly at and what the body is truly capable of today. One more inhale, rising up. Exhale, vertebrae for vertebrae, releasing the buttocks gently back down to the earth. Take a pause. So the spine is the superhighway to the central nervous system. And we don't do back bends in our regular daily lives. We don't need to. So it's important to keep the spine flexible, keep the movement available between each vertebrae of the spine so that the energy can flow through the central nervous system. We're also awakening the 7 energy vortexes in the body, chakras. There's so much that happens within these postures, but it's here to help revitalize. So connection to the breath is important to help us stay connected to the body in its greatest capacity. When you're ready, rise up once again. If it's available to you, and you find that you can move your hands closer towards each other on the belt, you may. If your pinky fingers come to touch and your arms remain straight, you may release the belt and rest the hands to the earth. But ladies and gentlemen, if you need to bend the elbows to interlock the hands, then your shoulders are not ready. Use the belt. If your elbows are lifting, or if your arms are lifting off the floor when you interlock the hands, your shoulders and arms are not ready. Use the belt, right? So you want to keep the arms rooted to the earth. Keep pressing down through the outer wrist. One more cleansing breath in. And then exhale, vertebrae for vertebrae. Gently releasing the buttocks and the spine back to the earth as you pause. Release the block if you had it in between the thighs. And just gently rock the knees from side to side. Your feet Can be on or off the ground, whichever resonates best to you. Rest the feet to the earth. Release the arms to the side. Just take a pause. If the knees rest into each other, do so. But just take stock. Did you overdo it? Is there any part of the body? Was there pain in the elbows? Were you overlocking in the arms? Do you need to do a little more softness in the elbow joints of the arms? Just taking a moment to observe. What does the body have to share with you? All right, come roll on over to your right side. Use your left hand to ease you up to seated. All right, let's come on up to standing. Removing the props from the mat. Let's come on up. And we'll come up to the head of the mat. I'll come to the back. Take the hands at heart center. Tadasana. We're going to come find our center. Middle toe in line with the center of the heel. Lift all 10 toes and shift the weight back 5% more into the heels. Just as when we were in seated, with the organs of perception at the front of the body, there tends to be a listing forwards that can happen. And it's very subtle often. Or we're shifting too far back and kicking the pelvis forwards. Exaggerated, but people do have that going on in the body. And we want to come into our Tadasana and come into a state of rebalancing so that we work from the foundation up. We lift the toes, we spread them wide, and then we release the buttocks to the earth. Release the toes back down to the earth, letting them rest. We've worked on the alignment, the middle toes in line with the center of the heel. Now, sometimes that can make you feel knock-kneed by straightening the feet. If that is the case, then allow for a slight micro bend in the knees, and that will cultivate that realignment in the legs. Your buttock bones are energetically descending downwards to your heels, and we start to cultivate an inch below the belly button as we draw in towards the spine. We lift and lengthen up to the heart. The heart lengthens to the throat, and the throat to the crown of your head. And we find our breath here. Close the eyes if you feel safe. If that doesn't feel safe, fix the gaze, fix the drishti out on a non-moving object out in front. Take a moment for stillness and steadiness. You may notice there's a slight pulse through the body from the poses we already did on the floor. Expand upon the breath. Full inhale, full steady exhale. And then as you breathe in, we raise the arms up overhead. Merging the in-breath as you raise the arms up. And as you exhale, we sweep the arms back down. It's like a physical yawn. As you inhale, draw the breath into the body, feel the expansion in the lungs and the diaphragm. And as you exhale, release, drawing the arms back down and coming to take the hands at heart center. Now, eyes are open. Fix your drishti out at a non-moving object out in front. Come transfer the weight to the right foot. Allow the foot to root into the earth and then let the left toes rest to the floor, left heel to the ankle. Now we're peeling the knee back, but we're keeping the hips square to the front of the room. You can stay here, or you can raise the foot to the calf. You can stay here. If you know yourself to have open hips, you can take hold of the ankle, take the ball of the foot, and press the foot to the inner upper thigh. And the thigh presses back into the foot. That's your glue. Maintain the breath. You can keep hands at heart center, or you can raise the arms up overhead. Honor where you are today. Some days we feel rock solid. Some days balance is a little elusive. Keep the eyes soft and steady. Take the hands down to the heart. Release the leg and hold. Keep that balance. And then we'll step that left foot back. I'll be stepping right foot forwards because I've run out of space behind me. Now keep your feet hip width apart. Hips are square to the front of the room. And the back heel is rooted to the earth. You can see that my back foot is more north than it is out to the side. It can be slightly out to the side, but not too much, because we want to be able to keep the hips square without torquing in the knee. All right, bring your hands to heart center and shift the weight into the back heel. You can close the eyes if you wish. Anchor into your foundation. We're going to knit the ribs together. Find that core sitting in through the ribs, broadening through the back body, connecting front and back body. And then inhale as we raise the arms up overhead. Stand in your warrior. Strong, grounded, powerful. Now you may need to bring the arms wider in order to free the shoulders and to maintain that descending quality of the shoulder blades away from the ears. So you honor where your arms are. That's appropriate for your body. One more cleansing breath in. It's the holding, it's the sustaining that builds our stamina. Not just the physical, but the mental and emotional stamina too. And that's what we need at this time. We need to become more resilient and be able to hold that bandwidth without snapping under pressure. We're being tested at this time. There is so much change going on in the world. And staying in our center, staying grounded is what is being asked of us. Because it's within this grounding, within this steadiness, that we can respond and operate with more clarity in and about the world. Draw the senses inwards. Take a moment's pause in your Tadasana. Shift the weight into the heels, find the breath. Now transfer the weight to the left foot. Allow the right toes to rest to the floor. Peel the knee back, but keep the hips square to the front of the room and level. Feel free to stay at the kickstand. You can take the foot to the calf, or you can raise the foot to the inner upper thigh. Place the ball of the foot first, whoopsie days, followed by the heel, and defy gravity. Wherever the right foot is, we're defying gravity and we're ascending through the spine as we root into the foot, or the ball of the right foot and the sole of the left foot. Keep your hands at heart center and raise the arms up overhead. Find your breath, expand, elongate. One more inhale, one more exhale. Then you can sweep the arms back down, take the hands to the heart, and then we'll release. Bring the leg out in front and hold it. Hold it for one more breath, and then step it back. Left foot is forwards, right foot is back. Left knee is stacked above the left heel. Keep it forwards, it can fall into the side. The work is to keep it evenly stacked above the heel. Root into the back right foot. Feel that grounding through the back body so you can ascend again through the spine. Inhale, raising the arms up overhead. Find your breath. Now today may be a day that you keep your hands at heart center to conserve your energy. How did you sleep last night? How much stress are you holding in your mind and your body? How much are you carrying the family? Every day is different. Every moment that we come to the mat, doesn't matter what we did yesterday, last week, last year. What is needed today? How is your relationship to your breath? What is your body sharing with you today? And can you humbly retract and honor what it is that you are receiving? Exhale, sweep the arms back down and come step the back foot to the head of the mat. Drop back into your Tadasana. Take a moment's pause in your standing posture. Close the eyes if you feel safe. And as you come to open the eyes, step the feet 3 to 4 feet apart. We're going to turn right toes in. We're going to turn left toes out. We're going to keep both legs straight and strong. Hands are going to be at heart center. We're going to do triangle pose, Trikonasana, but we're going to keep our hands at heart. Now, we want the left kneecap to point in the same direction as the toes. So feel that turning out. Roll the inner thigh to the outer thigh and allow the kneecap to align with the toes. And then you're going to crease in this left hip as if to allow left buttock to lengthen towards back right heel. Can you feel that nice stretch that comes through the inner thigh? That's it, you got it. Now we're keeping hands at heart center because arms can be a distraction. So we want to bring everything into the midline of the body. And just breathe here. Now, can you feel the grounding of your back right foot? Let the hip descend into the heel so this foundation is strong. And you want to access the lightness in the spine. Now, if you're too far forward, you're going to feel heavy and you're going to feel compressed and the breath won't be smooth. So I invite you to come up just a little higher. Do you find that sweet spot? You're efforting, you're working, but you're not straining. And your hands are here at heart center, and there's greater ease and flow in the breath. This is that practice of doing less. Anchoring into your foundation so that you can truly rise and lengthen up out of it. One more breath in. And then inhale, come up from your feet and legs. We're not coming up from the torso. We're coming up from the grounding of the foundation, and the spine stays long and extended. Feel the difference? Good. Lift the toes of the front foot, turn them in. Lift the toes of the back foot, turn them out. Heel of front foot is in line with heel or arch of back foot. And the back foot is parallel to the outer edge of the mat. And there's a nice grounding throughout the whole foot. We already cultivated that when we were seated in Sukhasana, when we actively engaged the outer edge of the feet. We started that awakening process of working the whole foot. All right, now over to that right side. Allow the inner right thigh to externally rotate, to roll out. So the kneecap is aligned with the toes. Hands rest at heart center. Your torso, to your best ability, remains square to the front of the room. So it's the thigh that's turning out, but you're not turning the right ribs back. Torso stays forwards. And then we descend into this right hip. Think of bringing right buttock towards back left heel and meet that stretch through the inner thigh. The grounding in the back foot that's allowing the spine to remain light and extended. Shoulders are drawing away from the ears, hands come to heart center. Eyes open or closed. Again, if you want to up the ante, close the eyes. It will test your balance. It will allow you to see where you truly are and where you can make those subtle refinements. Sometimes that's all we need. You don't need to make gross actions. It's those subtle refinements that can have huge ripple effects in our lives. Do less and observe. Hold the space to witness its effect. One more cleansing breath in. One more steady cleansing breath out. All right, from your feet and legs, you're slowly going to ease back to center. Good. Lift the toes of the front foot, turn them in. Now, we're going to heel toe the feet together. If you have knee or lower back history or discomfort, heel toe all the way back and come back to Tadasana. Some people will do half heel toe and jump the rest of the way, and others can jump straight back to center. Both or all three versions continues to bring that merging of the right and left hemisphere of the brain, right and left energies of the body. So we don't continually come from our dominant side and continue that pattern of stepping in from the most familiar place. Back into your Tadasana, pause. Shifting into the heel energy once again. All right. Let's transition down to the floor. Coming to our Shavasana. Come to lie onto your back. If you have a bolster, you may place it under the backs of the knees or a rolled up blanket. This slight support under the backs of the knees can help support the natural curvature of the spine. Palms of the hands are facing upwards to the ceiling. Some of my students, you have hand pillows. Feel free to place a slight weight into the palms of the hands and allow for the eye pillow to rest over the eyes. Come to close your eyes and allow for that cleansing exhalation of breath. Here is where we allow the innate wisdom and intelligence of the body integrate and digest all the moves that we made in class today. Allow the bottom jaw to release from the top jaw. slowly beginning to move your fingers and your toes in ways that feel comfortable to you. Allowing your breath to become slightly fuller and deeper. And when you're ready, gently ease on over to your right side and pause here. Rest your forehead down onto the ground, just to ground you and bring you back into the room. And then gently coming to ease your way back up to a comfortable seated position. And we'll seal our practice with one round of Om. Take the hands together at the heart. Take a nice, steady, cleansing breath in. Swallow in your throat. And before opening the eyes, just envision an energetic bubble around the body to contain all this energy that we have awoken and generated within the body, realigned and grounded. And allow that to be protected from the world so that you may maintain this steadiness throughout your practice, throughout your day today. Namaste. Thank you for your practice. Many blessings. Feel free to share this video if you feel it's going to be beneficial to friends and family. And I thank you for your time and your practice. Have a great day.